closer, my friend.
You will suffer greatly.
Oh, really?
You Inma.
Looks like he has an armor underneath. Okay. $5 gold. Yes, that must be the ring. That must be it, definitely. Fortify agility by 30 points and its constant effect. How awesome is that? The rest, I guess, is trash. Yeah. See that? Who are you? One of those bandits?
The pleasure is all mine.
Or... Brazen 9! Have you come to my rescue? I was seeking trade opportunities with the Ashlanders when I was attacked by outcast Outlanders. I was separated from my bodyguard and took refuge in this cave, where I was seized, robbed and held by this battle mage, Galmus Dren. So, to be told as a slave, I prayed to Zenithar for a divine intervention. You must have sent in answer to my prayers. Maybe you are right. So what about this Galmus Dren? I warn you, he's a skilled battle mage, well armed, well armored, and dark in the craft. Take care of him. Yeah, it's already done. I think I have a scroll for you. Lucky for me, you came prepared, not just for yourself, but for others. Don't worry about my stuff, it wasn't worth anything. I just want out of here. Give me that scroll and I'm free. Yeah, take it. Thank you, friend, and goodbye. And before I go, let me give you a gift. They took everything, but I managed to keep these gloves hidden. I have always been fond of them and their maker. Wear them in good health and in remembrance of me. Okay, I guess thanks. So what did he give me? Zenithar warning. Demoralized humanoid. Demoralized creature. Silence on touch. Interesting. Well, that's kinda useful, I guess. Silence. Okay. What about the other one? Zenithar Wiles. Charm 1 to 50 points. Not bad, actually. I like the silencing glove too. Not sure which one is which though. But it's useful. I can silence a spellcaster. Not bad at all, and I've got myself a divine artifact. Let me cast. Where is my scroll of opening? $60 gold. Not bad. Wait. Alright, drugs, alchemical ingredients, ash statues, clothing. Alright, let's see what else. Feather, detect animal. I can sell this, I guess. Alright, scrolls. I can sell scrolls. And a valuable book, The Final Lesson. And even more than one, okay. I guess I could read them when I'm at home, I guess. Alright, what does that did to me? Gash Spirit. Drain Magica. Okay. Frost damage. Okay. Oh, money. Okay. Carmelian. Alright. Let's see, more clothing, more alchemical ingredients, more ash statues, some armor, arrows. Okay, those are general stuff. Okay. Divine intervention, actually. That's useful. Well, I guess mission complete. This is a divine artifact of Kinnereth. Exactly what I wanted. So I guess I should report back to the Oracle. Maybe I should rest in this bed, since it's safe now. You walk today with a new sense of purpose. You're no longer afraid of failure. Failure is just an opportunity to learn something new. Okay. Let's invest the strength into endurance and I guess agility, I guess. Okay. So, now I think I should use my Amulet of Recall. This will take me back
You seem like very good company.
to him. We'll talk later. And so after I report back to Imperial Cult, I think I should proceed with another expedition to North Islands, to the Northern Islands. It's about the quest for Imperial Legion that I have.
There is someone watching me, I can tell.
Sure.
Why walk when you can ride?
Yeah, it's about the stolen glove. But first things first, I want to report to the Oracle of the Nine. So, Ebenhard.
What say you?
I will rest in the chapel. I think, yeah, that's a good idea.
Greetings, Cyrodiil.
What
What can I
say
do
you?
for you?
What say you? Well, hello there. A pleasure to meet you. What say you?
I have nothing to say at the moment. So,
What did I do to deserve this honor?
nothing as usual.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
You have news for the Ring in Darkness. Yeah, I found it. So you have found the Ring of the Wind and Darkness and brought it out? Yeah, I also was able to rescue John Hawker and your reward. How strange! And these tokens of Zenithar, they bear remarkable enchantments, strikingly appropriate to the god they honor. I wonder, might you have been tested by an avatar of the god Zenithar himself? Really? Strange, very strange. But you have done well, and it is clear to me that you were meant to keep the ring for yourself, to keep it safe, and to use it in the service of the Nine. Congratulations! Speak to me again when you are ready to undertake another of the Oracle's quests. Definitely, but later. But since she's an Oracle, maybe she's right. Maybe that was an avatar of Zenithar himself. I was blessed then. I was truly blessed.
Greetings to you.
With pleasure.
A pleasure to meet
Please,
you.
go ahead. I'm all ears.
So, I think I have to rest here at this comfortable bed. But I want to read the book first. So what do I have here? Not that, not that. The Warrior's Charge. That sounds interesting. The Warrior's Charge, an old poem of the Red Guards. And the stars sang far-flung tales, reft in the silver of Yokuda fair, of a warrior who, arrayed in hue, sails his charges through the serpent's snare, and the Lord of Runes, so bored so soon, leaves the ship for an evening's dare, perchance to wake the coiled snake, to take its shirt of scales to wear, and the Lady East, who every beast asleep or a prowl can arouse a scare, screams as her eye, a light in the sky, a warm no godly sight can bear, and the male steed adjoins the deed, not to be undone from his worthy share. Rides the night towards scale bright, leaving the seasoned warrior's care. Then the serpents rose, and made stead to close. The targets lay plain and there, but the warrior's blade the snake unmade, and the charges wander no more, they swear. Ha! Not bad. What else do I have? I guess the final lesson is in order. The final lesson by Agrophius Goff. It is time for you to leave your apprenticeship here, said the great sage to his students, Taksim and Vonguldak. So soon? Cried Vonguldak, for it had been but a few years since the training began. Are we such poor pupils? We have learned much from you, master, but you have no more to teach us? Taksim asked. You have told us so many tales of great enchanters of the past. Can't we continue to learn until we have reached some level of their power? I have one last story for you, smiled the great sage. Many thousands of years ago, long before the Cyrodiilic dynasty of Reman, and even longer before the Septim dynasty ruled Tamriel, and before there was a mages guild, and when the land called Morrowind was known as Resdane, and the land of Elsewhere was called Anequina and Pelitin, and the only law of the land was the cruel ways of the Alessian doctrines of Maruk, there lived a hermetic enchanter named Dalak, who had two apprentices, Ufrak and Loref. Ufrak and Loref were remarkable students, both equally assiduous in their learning, the pride of their master. Both excelled at the arts of the cauldron, mirror castings, the infusion of spiritus into mundus, and the weaving of air and fire. Dalak was very fond of his boys, and they of him. On a springtide morn, Dalak received a message from another enchanter named Peofril, who lived deep in the forests of Colovian Heartland. You must remember that in the dark days of the First Era, mages were solitary practitioners with the only organized consortium being the psychics of Artaeum. Away from that island, mages seldom saw one another and even more rarely corresponded. Thus, when Dalak received Beowulf's letter, he gave it his great attention. Beowulf was greatly aged, and he had found the peace of his isolation threatened by the Alessian reform. He feared for his life, knowing that the fanatical priests and their warriors were close at hand. Dalak brought his students to him. It will be an arduous and perilous journey to the Colovian estates, one that I would fear partaking even in my youth, Dalak said. My heart trembles to send you two forth to Beowulf's cave, but I know that he is a great and benevolent enchanter, and his light must continue to burn in the heart of the continent if we are to survive these dark nights. Ulfrak and Lorif pled with their teacher not to order them to go to Beowulf. It was not the priests and warriors of the Alessian reform they feared, but they knew their master was aged and infirm and could not protect himself if the reform moved further westward. Finally, he relented and allowed that one would stay with him and the other would journey forth to take the Colovian estates. He would let them decide which of them would go. The rest debated and discussed, fought and compromised, at last elected to let fate make the choice. They threw lots, and Loref came up short. He left early in the next morning, miserable and filled with fear. For a month and a day he tramped through the forest into the midst of the Colovian estates. Through some planning, some skill and much assistance for sympathetic peasants, he managed to avoid the ever-tightening circle of the Alessian reform by crossing through unclaimed mountain passes and hidden bogs. When at last he found the dark caverns where Dalak had told him to search for Beowulf, it was still many hours before he could find the enchanter's lair. No one appeared to be there. Loref searched through the laboratory of ancient tomes, cauldrons, and crystalline flutes. Herbs kept alive by the glow of the mystic circles, strange liquids and gases caught in transparent membranes. At last he found Beowulf, or so he presumed. The desiccated shell on the floor of the study, clutching tools of enchantment, scarcely seemed human. Loref decided that he could do nothing further for the mage, and began at once a journey back to his true master Dalak and his friend Ulfrak. The armies of the reform had moved quickly since he passed. After more than one close-near encounter, the young enchanter realized that he was trapped on all sides. The only retreat that was possible was back in the caves of Beowulf. The first thing to be done, Loref saw, was to find a means to keep army from finding the laboratory. That, he found, was what Beowulf himself had been trying to do, but by a simple error even an apprentice enchanter could recognize. He had only succeeded in destroying himself. Loref was able to take what he had learned from Dalak and apply it to Beowulf's enchantments quite successfully. The laboratory was never found or even detected by the reform. Much time passed. In the 480th year of the First Era, the great Aiden Direni won many battles against the Alessian horde, and many passages and routes that had once been closed were now open. Loref, now no longer young, was able to return to Dalak. When at last he found his way to his master's old hovel, he saw candles of morning lit in all the trees surrounding. Even before he knocked on the door and met his old fellow student Ulfrak, Loref knew that Dalak had died. "It was only a few months ago," said Ulfrak, after embracing his friend. "He talked of you every day, of every year you were away. Somehow he knew that you had not preceded him to the world beyond. He told me that you would come back." The grey-haired man sat before the fire and reminisced of the old days. The sad truth was that they